FCS Patriots boys volleyball team for the 2021 season. I am Jeffrey Swindoll. I am joined by my brother, William Swindoll.
Hello.
And today, FCS, there on the right side of your screen, is going to be playing against Hialeah Educational Academy. And they are on the left. We'll just address the elephant in the room. Yes, the jerseys are extremely similar. So we'll try to help you remember which side is which. On the floor starting for the Patriots, we have Nick Britos, number 2. Number 8, Danny Smith. We've got number 35, Matthew Sickle. William, why don't you finish out the rest of the lineup for us?
We got number 21, Andres Rancel. Number 22 is Jacob Holcomb. And one of the star players, number 14, Caden Irvine.
That's right. Caden will be someone that the Patriots rely on for heavy hitting, outside hitting. And I'm not sure who's going to be starting this game with the service. The Patriots are head coached by Mr. Patterson, one of the middle school Bible teachers. And I believe this is his second season as the head coach of volleyball here, in his second year teaching at FCS.
He's actually an alumni that played for FCS when we were, at the peak of the volleyball career, as he's told me, because they were competing with Southwest, and let's get to this game.
So the referee called here on Rancel a double hit. So Hialeah will take the first point. Caden receives that service. Holcomb will try to pick up the errant pass there from Danny Smith. But couldn't keep it in bounds. Hialeah up 2-0 now. And you could hear the FCS players calling out, but actually landed in that sweet spot between Sickle and Smith.
Yeah.
There's Caden trying to get that first pass into Sickle. It goes over the net. This will be a free ball for Hialeah. And they just chip it over all of the back line of FCS. Hialeah has taken a 4-0 lead to start this game.
Pretty amazing start for Hialeah.
There's Britos, a specialist of defense. And the pass eventually goes to Holcomb. He ended up landing on the other side of the net. And there's some call here. I didn't catch it with the down referee called. He signaled something to the head official. But that will be FCS's first point.
The ruling for when your foot crosses the line is that it has to be the full thing. Like, if part of it crosses the line, then it's no foul.
Good to know.
So that's probably what one of the refs called, and then they interchanged and changed the call.
Hialeah recovers the service. They lead 5-1 now. And there's Greg Gass, who got subbed on, wearing the different shirt that indicates he is the libero or libero, depending on how you feel like pronouncing it. Smith receives the serve. Britos trying to set up Holcomb. We'll just have to pop it over. Hialeah coming back. Number 9 had to just gently touch it over Caden. Oh, and it hits the speaker on the roof. And Britos recovers for FCS. Now Hialeah trying to form the attack from their outside hitter, number 9. But he hits it too far. We have yet to really see something vicious from FCS, something lethal. There you see a bit of miscommunication between Britos and Rancel. Britos was calling for it a long while. I think FCS needing to reorganize here a bit, as Coach Patterson has called the timeout.
Rocky start, to say the least.
I don't think anyone watching this FCS team would think that they've put their best foot forward so far. Granted, this is the season opener. Some of these players are playing volleyball for the first time this season, right?
Yeah, there's like 4 returning players like from the last season that we played, and there's a lot of new players, and it's good to see new recruits. You don't really get that with men's volleyball here.
Men's volleyball tends to be one of those sports that people kind of last second are like, okay, I
Yeah.
think I'll join and try it out. It's a shame because it's such an exciting sport to watch. It's like Dragon Ball Z power blasts at each other nonstop when
Yeah,
it's at the highest level.
We need a Gogeta comparison for this sport, man.
Well, that remains to be seen. And right there, the front row of FCS with a clever new move catching Hialeah with a bit of a change-up with the backwards flick. And here's Holcomb, one of the basketball players this season, playing volleyball. And get him, Irvine will take advantage of the free ball. Right to his center spot there. And he'll just thunder that ball to the ground. Holcomb's serve is a bit short. And FCS will lose the service possession. It's back in Hialeah's favor, who lead 8-4. Mansell got to the ball first, but his passing technique failed him there. It's to Ronsell again. And another error for him.
This team is mostly seniors from what I'm looking at. So it's pretty cool. It also it kind of shows that a lot of the players that are coming in have to step up like next year or just in general.
It is a bit of a double-edged sword when you have mostly a roster of seniors that you like the experience you have, but you're kind of thinking to yourself, okay, but next year, do we have the weapons we need? FCS really struggling to deal with these serves, which honestly aren't the most threatening each time. And I think there's a lot of talking and organization that needs to be sorted out here. And Coach Patterson calls another timeout.
They just need to talk to each other, like on the court. For like volleyball, you always have to be talking to your teammates and calling out who's gonna get what. So I think they just really need to be organized, like you said, and talk to each other and make a play.
It is rather quiet out there. That's a good point, William. That I'm not hearing a lot of talking, and actually the few times that we heard talking, the players didn't react in time, like we saw Britos when he ran into Andres Lancel down there.
Yeah.
That's discouraging when you try to give a call out to a player, they don't listen, and it's just like, well, do I even bother the next time?
Yeah.
So here we got a jump serve from 22. That's the first one he attempted, and it was straight to FCS's 22 Holcomb, who couldn't get his pass off. I'm not sure what that timer was for. That must have been just a mistake. The scoreboard keeper over there was rather embarrassed.
Good thing we're not sitting next to the scoreboard like we were for basketball.
Oh boy, I would have had. Yeah, the hearing damage is. I don't know when I'll recover from it. And here's Caden Irvine. They serve it. They serve it from the ground, but it is rather hard. And it looks like Hialeah prefers that number 9 player as their best hitter. Can't seem to keep it in bounds. Again, this is probably the season opener for Hialeah as well. Oh, that was 3 touches. And this will go out here. And it looks like this is actually Hialeah's second game, as they're 0-1. Hialeah trying to find number 9 once again. but the pass didn't work out. Number 9 having to scramble back. And a little barrel for Hialeah. Pops it over. This should be an easy kill for FCS. And Hialeah with the net violation. FCS will capitalize. It must, we've got to point out, Sickle did actually get the ball over anyway.
Yeah. That was also a good play from Danny where he jumped up and blocked the hitter.
There they go again, tempting that number 9 as their outside hitter. Here's Sickle again!
Yes, sir. Tool time, baby.
Tool time, and that means that he ricocheted off of the blockers, used them actually as a way of misdirecting the rest of the defense. Right. Right, I think the fans can figure that one out for themselves.
I always loved doing the volleyball chants when I was on the team.
Looks like referees here called a double hit on Hialeah, and now they've had their string of technical violations, right? There's Cade, and he's moved a little bit more to the center with his serve. And Cade and serve. And after a few really good ones, we'll have to, looks like he subbed himself off. I don't know. He has something on his right shoulder. Here's Hialeah's preferred outside hitter having to serve from the back row now. Sickle will just hit it over. I think it hit the line. Oh, and the official calls it out. And actually, the referee is overruling. This is something unique about high school volleyball, is that in these regular season games, they actually use other students to be the corner officials. When we get into playoffs, of course, they hire officials. There you saw the down referee overruling that call. Britos with a great save! And Lancel hits Gass's pass over. FCS lives to fight another day. Can Danny Smith get the kill? He'll hit it off of Hialeah! That's a great point for FCS. Great recovery. Everybody working so hard to keep the point alive. And Danny Smith, from a tight angle with 2 blockers on him, gets a solid kill. Hialeah squanders an opportunity to get some passes off. Rios will have to come from the back row. And they'll just try to bump it over the net, but it's wide right from his vantage point. FCS down 16-13. But this game for FCS has taken a turn for the better. Seems some more exciting plays for them. Holcomb manages this serve. And Sickle, I think he was a little too preoccupied of the 2 blockers that were on the other side of the net. And he failed to even touch the ball really in a powerful enough way.
Good call from Britos, calling it out.
Really good call. It was more of a line drive, and those tend to be a little riskier. Call out or in. Smith pops it over, it hits the front row. This will be a quick attack for Hialeah. And second pass wasn't the best one.
One thing I see for this FCS team as we look at the players and the new ones, is that they have height. Because last year we only had our seniors with height, and now we have these basketball players that are pretty skilled in pretty much everything and that are tall. So that's good to see for FCS.
Sickles had a few poor hits. I think he's the most disappointed in himself over the last few plays. So I think he knows he's better than that. That's a good point, William. It is nice to see more hype for FCS because in past years that has not been there. Hialeah going for that middle hit. Holcomb deals with that changeup. Rancel comes in to save that third hit. And the back row attack from number 9 comes in. FCS will have a good opportunity for Holcomb. Oh, but he landed completely on the other side of the net. Yeah, it looked like both of Holcomb's feet were on Hialeah's side of the net. That'll probably be something he has to adjust to. He's a native basketball player. I'm optimistic about, their talent and their athleticism, their height, of course. Same thing goes with Danny.
Don't forget Marcus too, the other basketball player.
He is currently on the bench, but yeah, I'm excited to see what he can bring. Also, Britos with the back row attack. Number 9 saves it. Hialeah will just have to bump it over, and FCS can set up another one. They go to Britos again. I think this is a bit of a mismatch. Rancel on Hialeah's 22. The height advantage is rather obvious. Not sure what the discussion is here between the officials, but we're going to start again. Rancel tries to save it. And the top official looking all over the place. Wow, he was definitely the closest one to that. And the bottom official, I believe, just overruled the call there. As Hialeah's coach was saying, my player didn't even touch it. This Hialeah coach, actually, when I used to coach soccer here, he was the coach of Hialeah Educational Academy. And so it's cool to see him crossing over to another sport. Head coach Jaime Fernandez. Here we go, FCS. Going to try and mount the comeback. They're down 22-15. Volleyball sets are up to 25 for those who don't know at home. Oh, and Holcomb's going to have to really deal with this. He has to get it around that antenna. Really an impossible angle. Going to have to pull out some anime curveball there.
Definitely would have been in a highlight reel if you saved that.
There's gas. Caden Irvine, who just subbed on.
What a pancake from Nick Britos.
Pancake amounts to nothing, though. And
I know Britos loves going for those. Practice all the time in practice.
Hialeah on a set point right now. Britos having to hit from outside of his own end. And Holcomb hits it over. Oh, what a block from Caden! Moose!
What a block.
Wow. Caden keeping the set alive. I don't know how much longer it's going to last. As FCS is down by a lot. Down by 8. But here comes the comeback. Caden with another block! And it stays in bounds. Wow. Number 9's probably thinking to himself, it's got to work at least one of these times. I've got 7 more points to go. Rancel hits it to the back left corner. And they won't go to number 9. 22 just pops it over. Gas deals with it. Oh, and Holcomb and Irvine were there. And Coach Patterson is trying to tell them what to do in that kind of scenario. Just like that, Hialeah will take set 1. I'm not sure if this is first to 3 set wins or first to 2.
Varsity's best of 5.
Okay. So Hialeah takes the first set, 25-17. They lead 1-0. They need 2 more sets to win the match.
One thing I noticed that FCS was doing is that they're trying to call a lot of they're improving in calling out the outs and what to go for, and so you can see the sort of communication between the back row, which is a good thing, because at the start of the game they didn't really do that, and now they're improving, and obviously they still lost the set, but it's a good improvement for the team, and obviously Caden stepping up and making those big boy plays.
That was what I was going to point out is towards the end of the set, I saw some really encouraging moments from specific players like Caden, even Danny Smith had a couple kills, 1 or 2, I can't remember actually. But that's encouraging to see. I'm also interested to see the rest of the roster because, for example, I see Danny Garcia on the bench. I know that he's just an all-around amazing athlete. Works out. He's clearly fit.
Man's a specimen.
We've got Marcus from the basketball team, who's tall, and he's older, so he's a little bit more mature in that sense. So there's some players I'm still interested to see if Patterson will be able to rotate them in. But yeah, good moments for Caden, good moments for even Britos there with those 2 hits from the back row.
It's cool seeing Britos hit because last year he was the libero, so now he's playing front row and doing those back row hits that he never got to do. So It's kind of funny.
Right. The other thing we've got to remember and remind people to put in perspective, this is their first game. Not just at home, this is their first regular season game this season. And on top of that, you were on the team last year. You guys barely even had a season because that was actually when all the lockdowns were imposed and all that stuff.
And we had a winning record, man.
What was that record?
It was like 5-2. We lost to Southwest and some other team.
So, just to point out why that's a big deal is you pretty much don't have the previous season to develop more players. You're having you missed almost a whole year, a whole season to develop your team, to develop camaraderie, test different roles. So really all programs are having to do a lot of catch up. So it's not an excuse to lose or anything. It's just to put things in perspective. Anyway, let's go back to the court as we're about to start set 2. FCS down 1-0, but they've had a couple encouraging moments for us that I think should keep us excited for what's in store this season. Some big plays, some big players, and even this game right in front of us here. And then I noticed they've subbed on number 10, Danny Garcia there. You see him in the middle row.
He's the other setter.
The middle of the front row. He's the setter of the team, right?
Yeah. Andres and him are the rotating setters.
So it looks like Patterson is actually moving Holcomb to the front and center. And Daniel will start in the back. FCS, Sickle will serve here. And he overhits that one by a couple feet. And Gas will come on, the libero for FCS. Somebody please help me. Is it libero or libero? I don't want to be that guy.
Tomato, man.
Well, I never said tomato in my life, so, There's Garcia with the back row hit. And FCS stringing some.
9.
That was a tricky hit from Caden Irvine. And Hialeah will just have to punt it back. Irvine again.
Number 9 is really making a difference for Hialeah right now. You made pretty good hits for both of those, hits that went over the net, and also he's really adjusting and making those plays.
There's number 9. Chipped it over. Britos. Uh-oh. The ball hits all the bars up top.
Miscommunication from Britos and Caden.
Yeah, kind of canceling each other out there. Really taking away the superior positioning for each other. There's Runsell. That's encouraging to see. Irvine! Now there's no questioning the power. But way out of bounds there.
I think he tried to go for like a tool or a touch on the blocker, so it would just go straight out by touching him.
That was Garcia dealing with a goofy hit. FCS survives. Oh, and Holcomb and Garcia, I think, confuse each other a little bit. Again, some of these players are playing their first serves of competitive volleyball. There's Gass and Garcia running into each other. Here's Danny Garcia with his moment to shine. And he'll hit it way over. And Danny was the first to say, my bad, my bad. A bit undeniable, but props to him for holding himself accountable. Britos with a nice pass to Irvine. He'll get a good chance to hit it right in that sweet spot in between the front and back row.
In the donut hole, as we like to call it.
Britos serving it. Oh, and Hialeah confuse each other there.
Ooh, let's go.
Caden capitalizes.
What a kill.
Right after that point, you can see Caden kind of wincing a little bit. I don't know if he landed on someone else's foot or something like that. There's Britos hitting it straight to the other team's libero. Number 9. And FCS has dealt well with his killing opportunities. They'll hit it to 22. I noticed 22 likes to do that set hit.
The deep push. One thing I've noticed from Hialeah is that they always try to go for the deep corners or pick wherever their setter is, which is really good because they're trying to put the setter out so that they can't get second ball and someone else has to set, or it's just a free ball. So that's really good game sense by the team.
I think Hialeah are frustrated they haven't been able to get more kills out of number 9 in this game. I think it's evident that he's their preferred hitter, but FCS has actually done a good job of shutting him down, or he's just hit the ball too far out of bounds. There's Garcia, now with the cleanest of hits, but it'll get the job done. There's number 9 trying to change it up with that deep pass to the back row. And FCS will shoot themselves in the foot with that double hit. Substitution here for Hialeah. Timeout called, I believe, by Coach Patterson. A lot of players, I think, working out the kinks, you know, maybe getting off a little bit of rust. You can see a lot of players kind of, you can see them, you can see the gears turning like, okay,
yeah,
I can hit that shot, or I can hit that spike. Sorry, still in basketball mode. I can hit that spike. I can get that pass. I'm capable of doing that. It's just maybe I'm a little inconsistent right now. I need more reps. I need more experience in the season. And I think both teams are probably thrilled to be on the court and to have a season to look forward to.
Yeah. I remember last season we beat St. Brendan our first game. That was pretty wild.
That must have been exciting. A rival right down the road from us. Gass's pass is a little wide. Britos recovers. Rancel will hit it over. And,
good free ball.
Honestly, both teams with their fair share of unforced errors, self-inflicted wounds, if you will. And here's Holcomb from the back row. He'll pop it over. Britos with a well-placed pass. Here's Garcia. And it comes off of the net. The libero deals with it. And Caden Irvine with that basketball pack.
There's that height.
And that's, I
Barely
think,
has to jump and he gets his hands over the net.
That's, I think, one of the key matchups of this game. Caden versus Hialeah's number 9. There it is again. He had to just hit it over Caden there. Let's see if he goes for Caden. It's a little bit behind him. Great recovery from Hialeah. Rensell will go for Caden Irvine again. And once again, it's too deep. His own worst enemy. I don't think the blocks were set there for Hialeah. He had a good chance to kill it.
I agree. I think one thing that FCS needs to do is kind of rotate their hitters. Like, not saying that Caden is playing bad or, whatever. I think they just need to switch up the hitters and, keep them guessing who they're going to set to. Because they obviously have the skill to, keep going to different people, and I think they're capable of doing that. Got to play the mind games.
FCS up 9-7 right now. They had one of their better runs when Caden was serving. And here he is again. The number 9 hits it off of the antenna, and it's a point for FCS. He had to hit that one much wider, I think, because he saw the blocks being set for FCS. He's like, man, I got to hit it around these guys. And there, the block, I guess, psyched him out a little bit.
I think also the set was a little bit far for him.
The set could have been better there for him. Meanwhile, Caden Irvine
just ace.
just got an ace off of Hialeah's libero. Another solid serve from Irvine. Number 9 will have to just punt it over. It's all the way to Garcia!
Touch.
And it's tipped off of the front row! And I think that's what we were talking about,
Yes,
right?
sir.
We called it. Put Garcia in, and that takes the lead for FCS.
Huge play.
Irvine to the back corner with the serve. Number 9 having to hit this from the ground again. Ransell calling his players out of the way. Holcomb's just going to have to hit it over. Oh, and number 1 just hits it right back for FCS. They can capitalize here. Sickle will just have to challenge it. Oh, was that a pancake? Oh.
I think there's bad decisions from both teams. Like, they kept passing it like in their field and court. Sorry. They keep passing it like to each other and not really trying to go for a set and then a hit, and then they also hit it over the net as well. So I think both teams need to adjust to that and go for a set and to a hit, not just a free ball.
I don't think any of these serves are particularly venomous. I really think this is just a lot of
Errors.
from Hialeah dealing with these serves. That's what plagued FCS at the beginning of the first set. Now it's affecting Hialeah. Number 9, he's waiting in the wings every play. He just can't seem to get the best pass from his teammates to use the talent that I think he's just like caged right now. Unleash him. Burrito's having to challenge at the net there. Oh, and all of FCS's back row looking to each other as it goes past each of them. I think FCS has done well with the outside hitting, meaning in terms of blocking the outside hitters for Hialeah. But when they go to the middle, I think FCS is a little confused and not used to it.
Yeah, you can see them jumping late or, jumping early, and it really affects how the hitter hits. And ultimately, they score a point most of the time off of, kind of a weak hit.
And there is, I think if we looked at the stat sheet, the most productive point giver in this game, the side outs, the service errors. The team's just trading service errors back and forth to each other. Free points.
It's really hard to start a game mentally when you're constantly just, serving it back and forth to each other and missing it most of the time.
Oh, and it hits the top of the net. Burritos hit it as he was falling back. And Garcia has to come from the back row And he understood that. He took that jump forward and popped it over. If you don't know, in volleyball, people that start in the back row on the point are not allowed to jump past that line you see in the front. Number 9, it looked like it was going out, but he saves it. And Rancel gives it to Britos. He'll just have to pop it over. Tiptoes the line. The front block from Irvine and Holcomb combining.
I think that hit the net, if I'm being honest with you.
Hey, man. Yeah, maybe he just won. Maybe
he was contested.
He was contested, and he was like, okay, well, let me try to hit it around him, and he hits it into the net. There's Sickle, straight to the libero, hits it all the way across court to 22. Britos got up there. Wow. I'm trying to think to myself, why is he in the front row? With that jump there is why. There's Sickle. Number 9 didn't want to bail him out that time.
Rios is another one of those athletes that is just kind of good at everything. He's really talented in every sport he plays, and really has that athlete's knowledge.
I remember coaching him in soccer. He was a center midfielder. Those tend to be more like the quarterback type of roles, and that seems to be similar to his role in this team. Britos dealing with an awkward pass from Rancel, and now Hialeah scrambling all over the place to deal with it. Garcia will give it to Holcomb. He'll just chip it over to the back left. Irvine once again taking advantage of the bad pass. And Britos challenges there. Number 9 unable to get it over him. Britos, what is his reaction? Wow.
Team was ecstatic for that one.
It was just pure emotion. Just raw high school emotion there. Gas will hit this serve. Britos having to come to the back row. It's to 22. He had just Holcomb to challenge him, but he hits it way beyond the back line. Holcomb making sure he keeps these serves in bounds. There's Irvine coming across. Hits it cross court. And Hialeah was caught flat-footed. FCS now leads 20-15. 5 points away from tying the set score. And Hialeah, I'm not sure if this might be their first called timeout here. After FCS has had a really good run for themselves. They have taken the lead 20-15 on the back of a lot of pretty exciting player performances, namely from Caden Irvine, Danny Garcia, Nick Britos. Some big plays from them. And they've really come out in this set.
I actually made a mistake on the last season's record. It was 7-3, not 5-2.
Thank you for the correction. So let's go back to the court here. FCS will serve. It's Holcomb. Garcia challenging 22. Just had to chip it over him. Britos, his forearm hit. And really underestimated the strength of his right forearm. The FCS lead by 4. They need to score 5 to win this game. Win this set, rather. Britos Britos having to hit it from deep. Rancel!
They hate to see it.
You hate to see it. That's really a poor giveaway from him. Just got to pop it over. Irvine hits it. Britos, he goes to Rancel again. He gets it right this time. And the Hialeah player literally pushing his player out of the way. 27 to number 1. They're going to talk it out with each other. And that's a rare bad serve from Irvine. Usually he overhits him. That time he underhit it.
It's definitely
more
hard
free points
to find a middle ground for your serving, especially when you're that powerful of a player.
Rancel hits it across to Garcia. His hit is low. And FCS's form is failing them in the second set. And they've given up their 4-point lead to now be a 2-point lead. Britos with a good bump. They go to Garcia again. And the pass hits the net. And now Hialeah has closed the gap to a 1-point game. Looks like Coach Patterson is calling this timeout.
I think FCS needs to step it up and, not making a lot of the errors that they're making. They're losing a lot of free balls. Like you saw Rancel, not to pick on him, but he missed that easy pass over the net, and so you can see that in a lot of other players and really making a difference for the score.
I have noticed some players, for example, Jacob Holcomb, he's gone a little bit more conservative with the way that he's serving so that it just gets in play rather than try to overhit and end up backfiring. So I actually see some players making some smart changes that are healthier for FCS going forward. And back to the court now. Number 9 for Hialeah serving. And that's a free ball to Hialeah. They're not doing the very best with it themselves. FCS got to take advantage here. And just bad passes from both teams. (22-21). Hialeah has now taken the lead in this second set, which looks so good for FCS. Oh, and the serve is wide! It hits Garcia on the leg. Oh, that's such a poor giveaway for FCS. Another one.
Tried getting out of the way, but then stuck out his leg. Really unfortunate for Denny.
Britos. He'll get to hit it now from the back row. And it's too far. And this chance to tie the set score has really slipped away for FCS. They're losing now 24-21. With Hialeah on set point. Uh-oh, it's hitting the basketball rim.
Still in play.
And Britos and Garcia discussing with each other, to use a rather kind word to describe what was going on there on the court. And the frustration there in the communication. Again, let's put things in perspective. First game of the season. You're playing with some of these guys for the first time in your career. And you're trying to sort out things like that. Communication, roles, even understanding like those unspoken preferences that players have. The way that they like passes. The kinds of balls they commit to, the kinds of balls they pass up on. Those are things that you just learn with people over time, and you can't accelerate time.
Control that, yeah.
But just like that, Hialeah has taken a set count 2-0 lead over FCS. Second game much closer, or second set, sorry, much closer than the first one. FCS in the first set and a bit of a comeback and a bit of better form towards the end. This set was a little different. It was kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
Where FCS started with a really strong lead, really big moments for them, but they kind of fell apart towards the end of that second set.
They got in their own heads.
That's the thing about volleyball is you have to score the winning point. Of course, if the other team just, serves bad, then.
Yeah.
But in other sports, you don't get self-scoring as much, right? An own goal in soccer is rare. Own goal in basketball, super rare. An own goal in football, I guess, like a safety, is pretty rare. In volleyball, it's all the time. The other thing in volleyball is there's no clock. It's not like, okay, well, we're winning 21-15, and there's 2 minutes left, so just run the clock. There's no running the clock
by
out.
the bow.
So in volleyball, it is a sport that really tests, can you close out a game? It's one of the sports that I think really tests that mental aspect of an athlete, kind of like tennis. In this case, it's a team. It's like a team thing.
I think what we saw in the second set from FCS is pretty good, but at the same time, it's kind of disappointing that they lost the set like how they did. But I think they'll come in the set with some fire in them after losing that pretty harshly at the end. Also, you can see Hialeah's, they're kind of, still adjusting to their own teammates. Like, that guy literally pushed number one out of the way.
Britos and Britos and Garcia down here at the end of that set with a similar incident.
So both teams are kind of on the same level right now in terms of errors and, what type of plays they're making. So I would like to see what happens in the set.
Hopefully we can get this third set underway. Some kind of delay going on here. Coach Patterson taking advantage of the time to discuss with his team. And here we go. Hialeah will serve. Britos getting the pass out to Holcomb. That's much better for him already for FCS. Oh, man. Did Britos touch that ball as it went out? And the referee is calling a deflection on Britos. Kind of hit him in the chest there is what he was telling his teammates. Rancel pops it up. Danny Garcia has to respond late to it. There's Rancel again. FCS can put it. Oh! Britos with the changeup. Britos pops it up to Sickle. Puts it in that donut area.
It looks like Britos is also one of the setters that FCS can rotate through in this team, which is really good having a lot of setters because sometimes, they're having off games and they can also adjust to certain players differently.
Britos to Holcomb. Had to reach back quite a bit. And he hits it wide right. Kid in Irvine trying to walk him through those steps a little bit in between this point and in between these 2 points. Hialeah is taking a 3-0 lead. They win this set, they win the match. Britos pops it up. Irvine's hit. Goes under the net.
I think also that something that's hard is, having a new setter because last year and the years before we had, senior players and, veterans for setters, and they're always like setting. That was their thing. But now, we have Brito stepping up from the libero to more of a setter or, something else.
It is tougher because it's one of the more clutch decision-making positions. So that makes it harder to replace because you prefer to have someone who's more experienced in that role and understands all the things going on the court at that time to make that decision. Like I said, it's kind of like the quarterback role.
Also, the players have to adjust to the setters and how they tend to set.
Sickle with the bump. Rancel responds a little too late. I think Britos was calling him to go for it. Just a lot of those moments in this game, a lot of moments like that where players are in decent enough positions, but they're kind of in each other's way or not communicating enough. And so bumps it. This is a good pass to Irvine.
What a hit. Also, clutch dig.
There's Irvine again. Oh, the libero with a great
out.
save. 22. With a rather easy ball to deal with, but Rancel just sticks one arm out. And it deflects out. Hialeah with a 6-2 lead right now. Rancel passes it. Britos comes all the way to the cross court. Britos not even looking at Caden Irvine with another deflection off of his blockers to reclaim this service possession for FCS as they're down 6-3. Got to mount a rally here.
Something that's good to note is that also most of the time the setters aren't, the best, like athletically. They're not the fastest. They're not, the tallest. But for Britos, he's, a seasoned athlete and plays a lot of sports. So he's kind of running around the court and, really making that difference.
And Britos, as you're talking about him, gets 2 aces in a row. Aces that are hitting Hialeah right in the arms. But that's a key point of this game. Both teams really struggling with getting serves, or returning serves, excuse me. Rancel with a nice pass to Holcomb. Hits it over his blockers.
Good spot.
There's number 9. Coming in for Hialeah. I think the back judge here called it out. And the hired officials are overruling that call as it was in. Hialeah leading 7-5. FCS is able to close the lead a little bit. Gas passes it to Garcia, who's waiting for that outside hit. He'll have to give it up for the second hit. And number 9, once again, not getting the best pass, having to do this from the ground. Oh, man, both teams really struggling to put together a bump set spike type of series. Garcia with the pass. Britos coming up. He couldn't attack it. Wow, a free ball. You could hear even Hialeah calling free ball. And the ball just goes straight to the ground on that pop fly from Caden Irvine.
One thing I'm noticing from FCS is they're picking really good spots to send the ball. Like Holcomb, when he was on the outside and, he hit the ball, he hit straight to the setter. So the setter was out, and they're also using the gaps a lot of times.
And there, number 22 with a rare instance where he got a clean hit off. Clean full swing at the ball.
And tools the blocker.
Irvine and Garcia got their hands on it, but the deflections kind of betrayed them a little bit there. And a timeout is called from Coach Patterson. FCS down 10-6. This could be their last set. This is set 3, and Hialeah leads 2-0 over FCS. I think FCS, they've just had more mistakes, honestly. And that's something we can give Hialeah credit for. They've not made the amount of mistakes that FCS has. You don't win games by the potential that your players have or a few exciting moments. Maybe FCS has more of the highlight reel moments, but they also have kind of more of the blooper reel moments, to be honest with you.
They're the ones losing. All that matters is the score.
They're hurting themselves. They're making this harder on themselves, and I think it needs to. But again, it's the first game of the season, and they're sorting out a lot of these things and getting back into the swing of things, no pun intended. It's not an FCS stream with Jeffrey and William if there's not a pun intended moment. Or no pun intended moment. And there it is again. Another error from FCS. They're really beating themselves. Holcomb hits it wide. Garcia saves it. And Gass just goalkeeper punch it over. Irvine with the touch. But number 9's it is too powerful. And it gets past Irvine. Gass couldn't save it. A substitution here is made. Number 3. That's nice. His jersey has Lopez on the back. Number 3, Lopez, subs on for Hialeah. Garcia with a chance. That's the call here.
Net violation.
Net violation from Hialeah, but I don't think Garcia cares. I think he's happy he got that nice hit off. Irvine hitting from the ground. And he's had several moments where he overhits his serves. I think he's had at least one in each set. That's got to be frustrating. 13-7. This lead is slowly getting bigger and bigger for Hialeah. That ball hit the net a bit. But Britos was there to save it. It's now 14-7. A 7-point lead for Hialeah. And the call from the bench of the ball's going out is correct. And FCS will get the ball without doing anything themselves. And here comes Marcus Antoine Taff, number 0, checking in for FCS.
FCS Media, by the way.
FCS Media, yeah. He takes off Matthew Sickle.
Another basketball player.
And Hialeah, I think they're just telling themselves, hey, that was a good series. That was a good play we just made. Number 3 is just saying, okay, I'll just hit the ball in next time. Here's Hialeah. 2 players with a quick 1-2-3 to each other. And they'll get another chance. Number 3.
That was a good decision by Britos to pass it over instead of just setting it, because I think he knew that if he set it, it wouldn't be a good enough ball, and it would just like fall out and they would lose the point. Man, I gotta be honest, I'm loving the height of this team right now. It's so nice to see.
Britos comes through. Antoine Taff with his first touch on the ball. And it goes wide. I think Patterson just wanted to get Marcus in the game, as he is a taller player, trying to give him experience, as I think he wants to utilize him more. But maybe his experience in volleyball is not up to the speed that other players are at this moment. Garcia with a solid serve. Number 9 coming from the back row. Britos to Holcomb.
That looked like a touch off of the blocker.
I doubt it. I don't even see Holcomb disputing the call or anything. Just disappointed in himself in the way that he hit it. Rancel to Britos. Oh, and Garcia has to jump through his own teammate. And the frustration is evident there for him. Just get out of the way, is what he's thinking. Oh, and Gass couldn't get the form quite right there. Hits it into the stands. And this is the biggest lead that Hialeah has had in this game. 10 points, 20-10. They're 5 points away from taking this match.
I think it's kind of hard to start a game when you can't like receive the ball or off of serves and making a lot of errors. It's really frustrating as a team to make those mistakes, and you can't it's hard to adapt to that. And so I think FCS, I see the progress, but at the same time this is their first game, and most of them aren't experienced. So I think I see the sorry, I'm gonna just stop talking.
I think the story of this game is that FCS has shot themselves in the foot many times, that they've been their own worst enemy. They haven't communicated well enough with each other, and they've had a lot of unforced errors. I think that's the main thing that explains the score. I think for Coach Patterson, there are things that he can take that are encouraging. But it's moments like that where you just look at it and you think to yourself, there's work to be done on this team. So Hialeah trying to have a little bit of fun with it. With that no-look serve. And that's got to be something that, for FCS, is a little infuriating to see the other team just messing around on the other end of the court.
Pretty stellar serve too for backward serve. Definitely love to see it.
And it's 21-11. FCS got to get a block. And 22 will just do the job for him. Hits it into the net. And how are we seeing the mounting of a rally right now for FCS? Oh man, the libero wasn't even looking. He saw it last second. 22 hits it wide once again. Gas doing well to keep these serves in. What's the call here? Oh no, is this a foot fault? Oh no. Wow. I mean, that
you hate to see
that takes the wind out of your sails now, doesn't it? As I was just saying, Gas was doing good keeping the balls in. Okay, nice. Rancel with a good pass to Britos. Irvine
tried to do a hook shot, but with like a spike.
I think that was a good sequence from Rancel and Britos, but I think Irvine will want that one back. And now Hialeah's on match point. Coach Patterson saying, let's make a run for it. Point starts out well. Rancel hits it far, and that is game. Hialeah will take the final set of the game, set 3 that is, 25-14 by a set count of 3-0. William, your post-game thoughts?
I think I'm liking how the team for FCS is looking in terms of, their highlight plays, as you like to call them, and, what they're doing. But also I see a lot of errors and a lot of unexperienced players that are just making simple mistakes that can be easily fixed. And so that's really made a difference for the team in some of these sets.
I think FCS has enough talent to have great moments in the game, enough height to match up well for blocking, even against teams that would be much better than them. But I don't think this Hialeah team was much better than FCS. I think really, as we've said the whole game, the story is that they had these unforced errors that the game ran away from them because they gave it away. But I like what I see from certain players, how they're impacting the game, the potential they have in terms of their height, their athleticism, their understanding of the game. Things that need to be worked on, like chemistry with each other, those are things that, like we said, you can't fast forward. It just has to happen over time with each other. So definitely you can look at a team like FCS right now and think to yourself, oh, that's why doing those practices on a regular basis is really important. That you have good players, you have a good starting point, and you have the potential to get even better and take advantage of those talents you have. Well, folks, thank you for tuning in. This broadcast was brought to you by FCS Media, a student-run organization. I've been Mr. Swindoll. This is William Swindoll. We hope that this broadcast has been a blessing to you